James wiped the grimy floor of the lunar station's maintenance corridor, his mop moving in practice circles that spoke of 15 years doing the same motion. At 42, he had long accepted his place in the cosmos, invisible, unremarkable, and utterly human. The other species that frequented the station barely noticed him. The crystalline Vexthor with their mathematical languages, the gaseous phantoms who negotiated billion credit trades, the towering Chromath warriors who could bend steel with their bare hands. But humans cleaned their messes. James Chen. A melodious voice echoed through the corridor, accompanied by a shimmer of golden light. James looked up, his heart stuttering. Standing before him was a being he hadn't seen in 30 years, P01, his childhood friend from the Portland contact zone. The alien appeared much as James remembered. Luminous skin that shifted between purple and blue, forearms adorned with ceremonial bands and those kind, multifaceted eyes that had once watched a lonely 8-year-old boy struggle with bullies. P01, James whispered, dropping his mop. You're alive? Alive, old friend, though not for much longer. P01's translation matrix hummed, converting his native tongue into perfect English. I have perhaps 3 of your days remaining. The crimson rot is persistent. James felt his throat tighten. P01 had been the first alien he'd ever met, back when first contact was still fresh and frightening. While other children had thrown rocks, James had offered his lunch. That simple sandwich had sparked a friendship that transcended species. I don't understand. You have access to the best medical. Some things cannot be healed, James, but I did not come to lament. P01 gestured, and a holographic document materialized between them. I came to settle my affairs. You are my oldest friend. Perhaps my only true friend in this vast galaxy. Therefore, I leave you everything. Everything? James laughed nervously. P01, I'm a janitor. I can barely afford my HAB unit rent. Precisely why you deserve it. P01's eyes glimmered with something that might have been amusement. The Galactic Council measures worth in combat prowess, psychic ability, technological advancement, commercial acumen. Humans rank near the bottom in all categories. But they never measured what I value most. Loyalty, kindness, the capacity to see a person rather than a species. The hologram expanded, revealing specifications that made James's head spin. A Dreadnought-class vessel, the Wandering Star, equipped with quantum drives and weapon systems that could level planets, mining rights to 17 resource-rich asteroids, and most bewildering of all, 3 names with accompanying portraits. These are Dragon Wives. James squinted at the images. 3 magnificent beings stared back, one with scales of midnight blue, another of emerald green, and the third of ruby red. They were humanoid, but decidedly not human, with elegant horns, powerful tails, and wings folded against their backs. The Drakthani, P01 explained. When I saved their colony from the Void Swarm, their matriarch insisted I accept her 3 daughters as bondmates. A tremendous honor, though I could never consummate such bonds. My species reproduces through spore distribution, you understand. They have waited in stasis for someone worthy. And you think that's me? James gestured at his stained uniform. I'm nobody, P01. I clean toilets for species that don't even register my existence. P01's 4 hands grasped James's shoulders. You are the boy who shared his food when he had little. The teenager who learned my language just to hear my stories. The man who never forgot, never stopped sending messages across the stars even when I could not always respond. If that is nobody, James Chen, then the galaxy's definition of somebody is catastrophically flawed. 3 days later, James stood in the docking bay of the Wandering Star, watching P01's burial capsule launch toward the nearest star. The alien had passed peacefully, surrounded by the few who had truly known him. James felt the weight of grief pressing on his chest, but also something else. Purpose. You are the new master? A voice like rolling thunder spoke behind him. James turned to face the 3 Drakthani women now awakened from their stasis. The blue-scaled one, Kesishara, stood at the forefront, her amber eyes evaluating him with predatory intensity. I guess so, James stammered. But you should know we know what you are, interrupted Velnara, the green-scaled warrior, her hand resting on a plasma blade that could cut through starship hulls. Human, weak, bottom-tier species. We have accessed the galactic databases. Then you understand, James said quietly, that you don't have to stay. P01 left you to me, but I'm not going to force anyone. Force? The red-scaled Tirvana laughed, a sound like crackling fire. You misunderstand, human. We are not concerned about being forced. We are concerned about you. Kesishara circled him slowly. P01's message was clear. He believed humanity possessed qualities the galaxy overlooked. Stubbornness, adaptability, the irrational refusal to accept limitations. She stopped in front of him, towering at 7 feet. So we ask, can you command this vessel? Can you protect what P01 built? Can you prove his faith was not misplaced? James looked at the 3 dragon women, at the massive dreadnought surrounding them, at the stars beyond. Every rational part of his brain screamed that he was unqualified, unprepared, utterly inadequate for this responsibility. But he remembered P01's words. He remembered the Galactic Council's dismissal of humanity. He remembered 15 years of being invisible. I don't know, James admitted. I've never commanded anything bigger than a mop bucket. I can't breathe fire, crush steel, or calculate quantum equations in my head. He straightened his shoulders. But I can learn. I can adapt, and I can promise you this, I will never stop trying. That's what humans do. We're too stupid to know when we're beaten. Silence stretched between them. Then Kesishara's lips curved into a sharp-toothed smile. Good answer, James Chen. She knelt before him, followed by her sisters. Then we are yours, as P01 intended. Not as property, but as partners. Teach us about human stubbornness. In return, we will teach you to command the stars. Velnara grinned. Besides, the Galactic Council has grown comfortable in their hierarchies. I think it is time someone reminded them that rankings are not destiny. Starting with a human janitor and 3 dragon wives, Tirvana added. The galaxy will never see us coming. James felt something ignite in his chest. Not confidence, not yet, but the beginning of it. He had been given an impossible gift by an irreplaceable friend. P01 had bet everything on the idea that humans, despite their limitations, possessed something valuable. All right, James said, his voice growing stronger. Then let's prove him right. Let's show them what humanity can do. The Wandering Star's engines hummed to life, and for the first time in 30 years, James Chen felt truly seen.